What's going on, Gemini? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a wonderful month so far. Get geeked up, Gemini, because for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the greatest, Gemini, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why, Gemini, because it is Celestial News Monthly. Oh, I think I almost heard an echo in here, Gemini. But with this monthly spread, whenever the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where all the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on the situation, okay? So with all that being said, so excited. Let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Gemini. Now, Gemini, I have oracle cards here with each of the zodiac signs that the sun and the planets are in. And we're going to talk a little lunar shenanigans today. But I'm going to pull an oracle card from this deck for each one, which is a newer one, Gemini. I've been digging it so far. And I'll get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, alright? And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links to them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like watching, Gemini, so definitely check them out. Very intuitive. Very great group that's down there, Gemini. So yeah, definitely go show them some love. Ooh, interesting, Gemini. I like that. But before we get into this energy here, let's talk about the party that Scorpio's getting ready to throw. Because you have the sun that's going to be entering Scorpio. Mercury's going to get entered there the day before. And then their ruler Mars has been chilling there for a little while. But let's talk about the sun first, because the sun's going to move into Scorpio on the 23rd of October, and that'll be about 12:21 Eastern time in the afternoon, and then we'll be there through the 22nd of November. And with this energy there, Gemini, there's a heightened sense of introspection. So this is a really great energy for going within, doing some reflection, some meditation, and really kind of bringing those things that maybe we kind of kept deep down in the depths of our, oh, I was going to say the depths of our soul there, Gemini. We're here for Scorpio season is very, very deep energy there. But I'm really just kind of reflecting on, as deep as it makes sense, Gemini. Don't overwhelm yourself. But really great time for that kind of like, kind of just journeying within and kind of finding those unexplored parts of yourself there, Gemini. But also this is an energy of emotional intensity as well. And so we just want to be mindful of that. Just because Scorpio being the fixed water sign, they do feel to such an intense degree, and when they get latched onto something, sometimes they let that pull them down to the depths there. So we just want to be mindful of that. But this is a great energy for being able to bounce back from challenges. So this is great for facing any sort of difficulties and fears and things just head on there, Gemini, because Scorpio is a very powerful, very resilient sign, being ruled by both Mars and by Pluto. Come on, it's fantastic. And you may also notice too, Gemini, that you might be drawn to the taboo and the more kind of mysterious side of life. So maybe find yourself doing a little scrying, kind of communing with the spirits, maybe even doing some tarot, do some research. But it's a very great energy for just kind of more if you've been curious about kind of dabbling in the more sort of like kind of mystical arts and things. Really fantastic for that. And then your ruler, Gemini, is going to be entering on the 22nd of entering Scorpio on the 22nd of October, and will be there through the 10th of November. Actually, your ruler's about to be really busy here over the next couple seasons. But with this energy here, Gemini, This is a time of depth and of intimacy. You know, I feel like Mercury in Scorpio really does like a more sort of like a more kind of intimate sort of like small party session there. And you know, you being such a social sign, it's not that it's going to take away from that, but you may not feel as gregarious as you normally are. You know, maybe more kind of in like a more sort of observing type of energy, more of a, and I feel like this is a great energy too for just like kind of listening a lot more, you know, just in kind of hearing what people have to say. Because I remember reading something where it's like we got 2 ears and one mouth, so listen more. And so that's a very nice energy too. But it's also very great for or very effective for discussing relationships, finances, and even mortality. Because like I was saying with the, you know, Scorpio is all about the taboo. You know, nothing's off the table when it comes to their energy. And they are really great with finances as well. They deal with like loans, joint finances, you know, wills and things like that, being associated with the eighth house. And then you have their one of their rulers, Mars, that's going to be in their sign until the 24th of November. And with this energy, you know, this gives us again that resilience and that power and that drive to face things head on. And it's very passionate energy as well with Scorpio. I feel like when they do, you know, when they do choose to let themselves be vulnerable, they're all in. They're kind of all or nothing type. So, you know, this is a great energy for that facing things, and also too again forming like really kind of deep bonds, and very great energy for, because Scorpio does deal with transformation as well and metamorphosis. So really great for taking action towards that too, Gemini. Now let's get into speaking of taking action there, because your first oracle card here is the navigation card. And I feel like with this, you know, if you've been feeling in this, you know, if you find yourself maybe been feeling a little lost as of late and just sort of like swimming in like maybe murky waters and not sure what are, I feel like for some it's like maybe we're not sure where we're going in life, or just like, you know, just kind of just, yeah, there's been this aimless energy that's kind of coming through there. This is a great energy I feel like for you maybe during this season to, you know, to just kind of sit down and really kind of set more intentions, you know, like this is my goal, you know, or you know, just to be really just like very focused on what you're trying to accomplish during this season. And I feel that the more, you know, I've been, this is something that I've been doing, and something I've just actually heard a reader talking about too, and I thought that's kind of fascinating. That, you know, it's like when we're first, you know, when we're getting ready to go to bed, and you know, you're kind of lying down and kind of like winding on the day. You know, sometimes you know people tend to like kind of scroll through their phones right before they go to sleep and things. And I feel like that's a great energy to just kind of, you know, unplug for a second and just start thinking about like, you know, where am I at on this journey? Where am I trying to go? And really kind of let that be your mantra, because then you're taking that into your subconscious, you know, into the dream realm. And I feel like that can kind of help you manifest your goals a lot faster, because you are the communicators of the zodiac. And I feel like that ability to, you know, not just to be socialized, but I feel like you're able to, when the twins are on the same page, you're able to communicate with the divine in a way, and really kind of pay attention to those, like, you know, those kind of like those moments of inspirations or epiphanies, or pay attention to those signs, and things just start piecing together nicely. And I do feel too, with your ruler being in Scorpio for this period of time, this really does allow you to journey into, really kind of dig into the depths of your intuition there, Gemini, and really kind of find, almost even getting like an energy for someone's like it's like you're navigating back to source, so that you can, you know, take that energy from, because you're assigned a duality, and it's like to be able to take that energy from source and then to manifest it in this on this earthly plane is very, I feel like a very powerful thing to be able to do there, Gemini. And there was one other thought that I was having. Well, it ran away from me. But let's go ahead and get your tarot cards and see what's going on here. Definitely kind of getting like an Eight of Wands type of energy here, which is actually where your ruler is going to be moving to next. That's Mercury in Sagittarius, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. Oh, and look at you syncing up with the energies. All right, there, Gemini. So you have the Five of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the King of Cups, and then Scorpio here, the Death card. And you know, Gemini, I do feel that there. I was just the first the scroll, how it's blank was kind of was the first thing that really sort of caught my attention here. And I feel that especially for those of you, if you've been feeling like you haven't had a planned course as of late, the great energy for you to start again, like start writing this stuff down, start getting into that energy of manifesting and seeing, and then visualizing what what like what ideas kind of come to you as you're like it's interesting because it's like the Ace of Swords, the aces are like the like divine gifts, and like divine seed cards for me. But the Ace of Swords, this is like divine inspiration, divine wisdom and knowledge. And I feel that with the Five of Wands, this is great brainstorming energy. So you really are, I feel like, going to be in an energy of getting ready to write, and like really kind of write the direction of the path that you want to go. And but I feel that there is this sense of balance that's going to be needed with the King of Cups here, that it's going to be more than just the thinking aspect of it, because the King of Cups is emotional wisdom. And I do feel like it's like getting that head and heart connection in line. It's one thing to, it's like taking the thoughts that you've been having and seeing how they're going to make you feel, and like really kind of steeping yourself in that energy. And then I feel like the more that you kind of get into that practice, the more that things are going to start becoming more clear to you. You'll be able to interpret, maybe even this could be like our dreams, or maybe even like our daydreams, or maybe even just again like random flashes of just like of inspiration and just like ideas, really getting a very prolific type of energy there. But I do feel like we want to pay attention to, because like with the most with this journey, there are going to be things that are going to try to steer you off course. There are going to be challenges that come through, whether this be certain situations or maybe even certain people or whatever that's looking like there. But the Five of Wands is not just meant to be a card that just keeps you in conflict. It's one that's meant to it's that conflict that gives us like a call to action. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say the Five of Wands, this is Mars and Leo. And so now you're able to to create your, again, just like creating your own path in a sense, and being able to navigate through this realm with more ease is what it feels like, because you're going to be able to, again, with your ruler being in such an intuitive energy as Scorpio, it's let me get a little bit more with this King of Cups before I move on from this energy here, Gemini. I like that, Gemini. So the King of Cups is clarified by the Four of Cups and then the Ace of Pentacles. And so now it's like you're taking, it's like you see this cup here. It's like, I feel like, because normally it's like there's this cups that are empty here. And with this stuff, and then like it's like the universe is providing you with more, and it feels like it's like you're taking these ideas, and now we're getting the divine materials for it, with the Ace of Pentacles being here. Now we're starting to really, having your thoughts literally start becoming things. And I feel like that's a very powerful place to be in. And with this Four of Cups as well, I do feel that there is this boundary energy that's needed to come through as well. Just whatever, with whatever this conflicts may be. There are any things that might get in the way of that there, Gemini. But, and it's keeping a keeping a balanced mind and keeping a cool head in the face of this stuff. It's not to say that, you know, you're not allowed to react in things, but I do feel like it's, once we've had, it's about an energy of being proactive as opposed to being reactive, and then yeah, things just really start manifesting in a way. But all right, I dig that, Gemini. All these aces here. Strong start. Even just looking at those aces, I just, the swords gave me, I'm just thinking like the heavens and the earth, you know, like yours. That's fantastic, Gemini. Now let's talk about Taurus, because we do got some cool stuff happening in Taurus. You got Big Papa Jupiter and Uranus that are still retrograde in Taurus. And then we have a little special event here. We have a full moon lunar eclipse that's happening in their sign as well. And let's start with that, Gemini, because the eclipse is going to be happening on the 28th of October. And eclipses bring about, you know, change. You know, it's they can be very intense energies, but this is a great energy for, you know, kind of reckoning any old debts, you know, getting your finances in order, and just kind of making sure we're investing in the right things and people, you know, things that affect our security. Because, you know, yes, Taurus deals with, like, you know, money, the finer things, material stuff, but on a deeper level, they do deal with that sense of security. And so, you know, this is about things, you know, just kind of really evaluating the stuff that we're putting our thoughts into, putting our energies into, and then kind of maybe putting space from those other things as well. And then, you know, what does that change in that evolution look like there, Gemini? And then you have, and that really kind of couples nicely with both these retrograde energies, because retrogrades, and just in general, because considering your ruler goes retrograde like four times a year, Jupiter is going to be retrograde until the 30th of December. And with this is great for kind of reevaluating your approach to wealth and investments and material comforts. And this is also great energy too for kind of seeking out advice if we're not sure how to manage these types of things, or maybe even like for even like how you may approach like your self-esteem and things, because that's a big one with Taurus too. You know, when we're not feeling that sense of security, then we do, you know, that affects how we feel about ourselves, and it just becomes this sort of spiral here. So that's something to think about there with Jupiter, and think about how you can grow in those areas. And then Uranus is going to be retrograde in Taurus until next year, January 27th of 2024. And Uranus has been in Taurus for the last like about 5 years. Uranus spends, I want to say, since 2018, and Uranus focuses on just like that radical change, and, you know, clearing stuff out for the future. And I feel like a lot of this energy that is going on is because, you know, little Papa, well, I shouldn't say little Papa, but yeah, little Papa Pluto's getting ready to make a move here next year, and Pluto doesn't move that often. And so when outer planets move, you know, it's a big deal, and I feel like Uranus has been getting us kind of prepped for that. But I'm sure you've already noticed that there's been changes in currency, investments, and even in our economic structure, and things are just going to continue to evolve, because Uranus has about a couple more years that he's going to be in Taurus. And two, Taurus can also deal with like the environment. And this is an energy you may notice a heightened awareness for environmental issues. So maybe you might want to get involved in, like, maybe start cleaning up your community, or maybe we're working with more kind of natural resources, or maybe, you know, be more mindful, like composting, recycling, things along those lines there, Gemini. So just something to think about there. But let's go ahead and get your next oracle card here. Oh, all right, Gemini. You really are embracing this energy here, because you got the change card. And I do feel like, but I feel like that's going to be really nice for you, though, with this change. I feel like it's not going to be as difficult as you may think, because you are the mutable air sign. And so I feel like Gemini is one that has no problem, just like kind of like, oh, okay, we're going to go from here, oh, and then here, and then here, and then here. No problem. And I feel like that it's getting ready to embrace the changes that are getting ready to come around you, Gemini, but also from within as well. I do like that you got that, with considering that you got the death card here too. That this is going to be, it's like kind of asking yourself and be really inquisitive as far as like in what areas do you feel like you need to change, that you can become stronger in, really kind of solidify that foundation. I'm even kind of getting like Scorpio's ruler there, like the tower, Mars energy is really kind of coming through, and like even like judgment card in a sense. And I feel like that it's, and even too, I feel like for some there's going to be this question of like asking yourself like how do you adapt and how do you change your colors like the chameleon when things go through? And is it a slower process? Is it a really fast process? Do like a lot of and I even kind of feel, I'm just kind of thinking about how chameleons' eyes, they just do all types of crazy stuff. And I feel like that it's not being, trying not to get overwhelmed with all of the change, because it's just like I feel like your mind works so fast, being Mercury ruled. And I feel like it's one of those things we want to try not to be like, get it to where we're all over the place. It's like I feel like this is one that's going to be a very gradual change, but it's one that if we get in that, like that sort of anxious energy, then it's just going to just sort of throw things out of whack a little bit there, Gemini. So just something to just I feel like to be aware of over this season. But let's see what tarot cards come out here. Oh, I like that little Hanged Man action. And that's sort of what I'm feeling like too, Gemini. Like that there's going to be this, because the Hanged Man is about that new perspective. And I feel like, well, hold on, before I really start jumping into that. But, alright, Gemini, so you have the Hanged Man, the Three of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and then the Ten of Cups here. But like I was saying with the Hanged Man, it feels like that is going to be a lot of new perspectives that may be coming your way here. And the Four of Pentacles sometimes can give me this card, can be like this card of like rigidity in a sense sometimes, and kind of staying like wanting to stay in this sort of like safe space. And I get that, because like the fours deal with stability, and the Pentacles deal with earth, and like Taurus, like the kind of like the fixed earth sign. But, and I do like, and that's interesting too, even now that I'm thinking about that you got this change energy with Taurus, because Taurus is the opposite sign of Scorpio. And I was just telling Scorpio this, that it's like, and I heard someone else, an astrologer, put it in a way that I really kind of liked, where it's like Taurus is like the one that builds, and Scorpio is the one that destroys. And I know that can sound a little harsh with the destruction, but sometimes destruction is necessary, in order, because we, to see where we may have been kind of sacrificing a lot of ourselves and a lot of our energies. And it's, I feel like too, with the Ten of Cups being here, this is about like sort of like what would make you happy in the long term here. Thinking about your wish fulfillment. No, this could be like your happy home, happy family type of card here. But just like what is it that you dream, or that you want to dream into being, and then how do we get to work on that? Look at that, more scrolls that we're writing. A lot of planning. I feel like it's kind of coming through here, Gemini. But the the Three of Pentacles can also be like a card of collaboration. So maybe for some, we may even find ourselves kind of changing around people who we may even interact with. Not that we're necessarily losing people, but it's just like that. Just you may even, that's even something too. Maybe some of us are thinking about maybe possibly changing careers, possibly just thinking with the Three of Pentacles popping up here. Or even too, just how we were talking about like finances and things, because you do got, quite a bit of pentacles that popped up through here. Maybe we're thinking, because the Four of Pentacles can also be a card of savings. So maybe some of us are thinking about long-term investment. Maybe we're thinking about buying a home, possibly with the Ten of Cups here, or maybe even like investing in our home a little bit more, or just like kind of getting in a more sort of sort of responsible more energy that I feel like is coming through there. Not that you aren't already are, but it's just like that we're really kind of getting thinking from this sort of practical standpoint, considering too I feel like where your ruler's at, you know, right now with Scorpio, because Scorpio is great with finances as well, like I was saying. And you know, this could be, yeah, just a really great energy for you, just to really kind of start getting things in order, you know what I mean? And it's one where I was just reading something not too long ago, and I was thinking this, and you know, with change, you know, we have to be patient with change, but patience isn't just like the act of waiting and enduring through all, you know, something that can seem unbearable. I feel like it's what we do with that time while we're waiting. It's what really makes, you know, that like makes that being patient worthwhile. You know what I mean, Gemini? And something I feel like with the Hanged Man here, there's gonna be like a very kind of inspired type of energy, and I like that. You know what? Very, I feel like inspired energy that's coming through here, and I feel like that makes a lot of sense with what your ruler's getting ready to do. Cause let's get a little tea, and let's talk about Sag energy. Cause your ruler is going to be moving into Sagittarius on the 10th of November and will be there through the 1st of December. And with this energy, our thinking may become more optimistic, more open-minded, and more expansive. So you, with all this change that's coming through, and you kind of navigating where this change is going, it's just like where I feel like this is a, you know, I feel like there is an importance, I feel like, with that optimistic energy and keeping that vibration high, because that's going to affect how much abundance is going to be coming into your world. But you may also notice too, Gemini, that you express yourself more boldly and more honestly. And not that this is like all, you know, like, you know, Gemini energy is one that can be a little glib, you know, just sort of sometimes. And you know, you tell me how that resonates, because I know I have a Gemini moon, and sometimes my mouth gets ahead of my head. And you know, it's one of those things where we just want to be mindful of like our delivery of things, where honesty, you know, can be the best policy. You know, sometimes, you know, people aren't quite ready for all that honesty, or you know, that bluntness that Sagittarius can bring. So just like something just to be mindful of. We're not lying, but we're just kind of like make sure we're being delicate with, sort of like diplomatic. That's a better word. Diplomatic with how we're kind of going about, I feel like, interacting with others. But you may also be drawn to travel as well there, Gemini. And yours is a sign of travel. You know, Sagittarius is more so about that, because they're your opposite sign. We're just going to talk about that in a second. But Sagittarius is about that, like if you're thinking of travel, Sagittarius is like going from like your small town, and like, or you're going from like your state or something and going to a new country, whereas opposed to you are more sort of like the kind of like going from like, let's say like a state to state, you know. It's a little, you build the pieces around the stuff, where Sagittarius takes like big leaps. But this could, you could get a little bit of wanderlust there, Gemini. So that might be something while you're navigating, and then that might be something too. Maybe we're thinking about changing locations with this change in navigation. So, but also too, this is a great energy for studying as well, because you know, Sagittarius is about the being Jupiter ruled. They're about the higher mind and higher learning. And I feel like with how smart your sign is and how fast you can, you know, you absorb knowledge like a sponge. I feel that it's Gemini energy, though. I feel like it's one of the things need to be careful with, because where we, I'm not saying like we're just learning just for learning's sake or learning's sake. It's learning in the, like one of your cards for me is the King of Swords, and it's learning to put these energies into application. You know, not just picking up just a bunch of stuff just to say we just know it. You know what I mean, Gemini? So just something to think about there. But also, depending on where your Gemini placements are at, this is going to be forming an opposition with your sign. And oppositions are tough energies. You know, they create polarities and create tensions, because you're trying to fuse two opposite things together. And it's going to be one of those things where it's like a relationship or like a situation is going to force us to make a decision. And so just, it's oppositions, but they're not meant to be like something that is, you know, to keep you down and things like that. You know how I say that? It's about change, and it's just like seeing which one is going to get you to towards your highest vibration. So oppositions can be very rewarding. You know, I have a quite a few. I have at least 3 oppositions in my natal aspects. But let's get to your oracle card here, Gemini, and get a little bit more on that. Thank you. All right, Gemini. So you have the elixir of life here. And with this, Gemini, you know, this is a very deep card. I like this card because this is very, very appropriate for Sagittarius energy when your ruler moves there. It's about thinking about sort of like the laws of the universe in a way, you know, because you know we are like these, you know, this energy, these souls that are going through this human experience, and it is thinking about what is it that we're trying to learn in this journey, you know, like what more can we add to this soul in a sense, and what areas that it needs to grow and expand and then learn and change so that we can. I feel like that's the. Because I kind of got ahead of myself. I was thinking too that, you know, I feel like yours is a sign that does, again, not just learning just to learn, but like I feel like it definitely pays off to always be learning, because yours is very youthful energy as well. You know, that curiosity. You're a very curious sign, and I feel like that it's, you know, really thinking about that big picture. And again, what is that? What are we trying to evolve into? What are we trying to change into? What would make us fit? What would fill up all of our cups? You know, and then what would we want to share with others in a sense? You know, with this thing with that 3 of Pentacles there, and this can even get. And I feel like this again is really kind of appropriate for how your energies are kind of moving. You know, it's like taking the time to be really kind of introspective during Scorpio season, kind of asking yourself, kind of, because the elixir life almost in a way even asks us to kind of face our mortality in a way, and thinking about what we're going to invest in kind of long term, what kind of legacy do we want to leave behind. And I'm even keep getting this like almost like this holy grail type of energy of just like learning, like really kind of connecting with, you know, like how you connect to source there, Gemini, and really tapping into those intuitive type of energies, that inspired energy, and really making the most of this experience that you have here. But let's get a little tarot on this. Alright, Gemini, let's see what's going on here. Oh, look at that. I like the Hierophant. I was picking up. Oh, and the Empress. So, clearly you got the Empress. And then you have the 2 of Swords, the 4 of Wands, and then the Hierophant. You would think as long as I've been doing this that I wouldn't geek out as much when the Empress pops up, but I feel like it's like sometimes it's tame and other times it's just like we're just losing it. But let's talk about the 2 of Swords first. Hold on, girl. Because with the 2 of Swords, you know, I feel like that this is. It's like the 2 of Swords is giving me this, like, because I'm feeling in combination with the elixir of life, like the law of the universe again popped into my head with that elixir, and it's thinking about the choices that we're making, and how what we give is what we get back, in a sense, you know. And I even feel like for some with the Hierophant being here, that if this is something that you're curious about, you know, that there could even be this energy of maybe even kind of finding a teacher. Possibly this is Taurus energy. You know, we were talking about that with Jupiter earlier, you know, maybe reaching out to a mentor and things. But, You know, maybe even for some, I feel like that if we're been kind of asking ourselves these questions and not really sure where life is going, maybe we're changing in a way, maybe we're discovering different aspects of ourselves and trying to just like really kind of make sense of that. You know, this again could be maybe seeking out a mentor, or maybe even seeing how the Hierophant's kind of pointing up here, just like kind of like again connecting to source, and however you do that, whether it be the angels, the ancestors, spirit guides, maybe even through like your dreams, even, you know. But I do feel that with the Empress, and I like that she popped up, so I'm going to talk about her next, because that's going to be very beneficial one there for you, Gemini. I do feel with the Empress being here, because she's so abundant, and she has so much that she wants to give to the world. And I feel like it's again like there's this, I almost feel like it's like when with these with the Two of Swords, it's like when we're starting to make choices that really align up with who we truly are. And I'm not expecting like you're gonna learn this overnight, but as you become to learn, and as you start to evolve and change in things, that there's going to be this energy of celebration, because now we're coming into a union. Again, the twins are on the same page. You know, you can, again, you may be a sign of duality, and it's like you can literally kind of like like how do I want to put this? It's like you're able to. I had some words for this. It's like the words that are coming through are just like you're able to swap between two beings, and you know really kind of learn to live that dual self, to bring what each half is bringing, to come into this whole energy here, and it's just like a wellspring. Is I feel like it's kind of popping through there. Okay, and you know the Hierophant too can be a card of this like of like divine wisdom, and I even feel like for some of you, maybe even as you're, I even feel like maybe for some that maybe even you may even become this teacher. I feel like Geminis would make really wonderful teachers, and you might even be coming into this place where you might even be helping others kind of navigate. I don't feel like it matters what age you are or who you're maybe teaching. It's just like can even navigate this life and kind of understand and help almost like drink from the elixir of life too, in a sense, like getting very getting spiritual up in this piece, Gemini, and I'm with it. Well, I like it. And Sag is a very spiritual sign, being Jupiter ruled, so that is well, something to think about there, Empress. But now let's get into, since Venus wanted to pop up here, let's talk about Libra energy. Because Venus is going to be moving back home. It's been a long journey, and she rules over both Hierophant, Taurus, and over Libra. But Venus is going to be entering Libra on the 8th of November and will be there through the 4th of December. And with this energy, Gemini, there's an increased emphasis on harmony, cooperation, and diplomacy in relationships. Because, you know, that Libra deals with all of that. You know, that diplomacy, that balance. And they also deal with, like, one-on-one relationships as well, whether this be in love, in business, in friendships, family, however that's looking. So this is a great energy for if you need to restore, if you notice there's any sort of dissonance in things amongst your groups or something along those lines, or if you're just wanting to just like kind of get out there, socialize, kind of network and things, fantastic for that. But also, this is really great energy too, because Venus is very much about art and beauty. Same thing with Libra. You know, they're all about balance and aesthetics and beauty and such. You know, there may be a heightened interest in the arts and fashion and design. So, you know, feel free to kind of tap into some kind of creative endeavors there. You know, work with this Empress energy that's coming through. But one thing to pay attention to there, Gemini, is that on Libra can be a little tricky energy because when they're not able to find a balanced approach or a balanced answer to things, then they're the type that's just like, well, forget about it. We're just not going to make a move. So we want to be mindful of indecisiveness. And I feel like sometimes too, I don't know about you, Gemini, but you know, again, when my Gemini moon, there's sometimes if I'm presented with too many options, then I'm just like, then I don't need it that bad. It's totally fine. And so that's just something to think about there. So I feel like that's a common thing with the air signs. Each of you do it in a different type of way than if you got air placements, but just something to think about. But the nice little thing too, Gemini, depending on where your aspects are at, you know, not just all oppositions here. This is going to be forming a trine with your sign, and trines are very fortunate energies there. You know, it's very, very collaborative, very easy flowing. It's like it's very fast energy, very kind of Eight of Wands where, and I feel like it's especially that is forming a sign, you know, an aspect with like such a benefic planet like Venus, you know, wherever your Gemini placements are at. You know, it is can be very fortunate energy that comes through. You know, take advantage of that. You know, again, be intentional with your thoughts and watch those thoughts become things. Watch them manifest. So very kind of magician energy. I feel like that can kind of your ruler Mercury that can come through here. But let's get an oracle on the mix. What? Let's see if I can hold these cards together, Gemini. Oh. Alright, thank you. Oh, and look at that. look at the Scorpio energy that's coming through here, Gemini. Because you got the defense card here. And that's interesting. You know, I feel like that as you're going through I feel like as you're going through this change here, Gemini, I do feel like that there is this energy of, again, like I was talking with the Four of Cups. I had kind of briefly mentioned that kind of keeping your guard up in a sense, like as far as more so just like keeping up boundaries. And I feel like there is this defense of just like, because sometimes when we're going through these sort of like radical changes and we're going through these and that's interesting even when thinking with like the Hierophant, you know, it's not that I feel like there's going to be like maybe like people like teaching you wrong information, but I do feel like there is this thing of not just taking things at face value, especially if you're learning something. You know, you're going through this change and it's something new to you. You know, you may have like an idea of it, but it's like, you know, there could be more research that can be had, because you know, I remember kind of starting off here, and I still like, and it's something I still will make sure to work on, you know, because I never say, you know, I would never tell people to just take what I say as like as a maxim or anything. Do your research, you know, and because I remember, and I usually one that was like pretty inquisitive, but sometimes it's like if I like the way that something sounds or the way someone puts something, you know, I can kind of take that. I had a tendency to sort of like take that on, and you know, it's something that I'm working on because I do notice that I can be a bit impressionable sometimes, and that's where I feel that it's something. Pay attention to that, and it's not that I don't feel like you're not. It's not that you're not smart, but it just may be that someone, and it may not even come from a malicious place, you know. But it's just like just making sure that we are double checking, you know, the knowledge that we are consuming before we start kind of incorporating that into our day to day. There, just before we get kind of like locked in and kind of fixed on something and really kind of develop a sort of like emotional attachment to an idea, if that makes sense there, Gemini. Very, very interesting energy with this defense here. But yeah, and I am just getting an energy too, like very kind of Seven of Wands, just kind of like protecting your energies from not even just others, but even from like, you know, just like any sort of like self-deprecating energies, because again, your thoughts are powerful and your thoughts can manifest, you know, depending on the vibration that you're in. You know, it's, you know, we just want to try to keep high vibes, and it's not to say that we're ignoring any sort of like difficult things, but it's just like when we notice that the, you know, the energies are shifting in a lower vibe, like how do we adjust that back to, you know, getting back on track there. But let's get some tarot on this. Yeah, 'cause you do. That's a lot of change, a lot of Scorpio energy kind of coming through here. And that's interesting with the what's one of your cards there, the Eight of Swords, and that's Jupiter in Gemini. So it's just like, and that's what I was talking about with how your vibration can affect. Let me tell you what you got here. So let's see what's going on here before I get into that. And there it is. So you have the Hermit, the Seven of Wands, the Five of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and then you have Eight of Swords here. And it's like being careful, I feel like, of just like where our heads are at, you know, whether things like having things like kind of keep us kind of tied down and keep us in a box in a sense, because, you know, the Seven of Wands, I almost feel like with this can be a card of criticisms, and I feel like there is this, and even I'm kind of getting the Hermit in more so like of a, because this is Virgo's card, and I'm even getting that in a more so type, I'm about to do them next, but it's coming at it with that kind of discerning eye, because Virgo is a very analytical, very they're the types that they're really kind of checking their stuff. And again, it's not that you don't, but I do feel like there is this need to just kind of come at things with more kind of discernment, maybe be a little more critical. It's not that we're being harsh or anything, but it's just like how I tell you at the beginning, take what resonates with you and leave the rest with them. But because I do feel that if we're not careful, that there could be this energy of where we're kind of left feeling a little disappointed, or left kind of feeling down. You know, we thought one thing was going to be something, and we know we go at it with such passion and such fervor, but then it turns out to be a whole other thing. And so that's something to be mindful of as well there, Gemini. But I do feel that there's a balance that's needing to become with that. And I know this can be tricky, you know, it's like it feels like I'm giving like alternative messages, but it is this discernment that's coming through, but it's not like expecting everything to disappoint you, because when you do get in that mindset, then, you know, what you manifest becomes true. And let's say, for example, if we're we've had a run of kind of like not had great results with like relationships, and then we get to this place where it's like, oh, everyone's a liar, everyone's a cheater, and everyone's going to disappoint me. And then it's just like when you go to the next person, it's just like we're just waiting for that thing to hit the fan. And there's always going to be something there, Gemini, but it's just like, if we go with that being overly critical in things, it's just like, when, okay, it happens, you were right, how does that feel? You know, are we happy that we were right, that we manifested that? And it's not that you're manifesting cheaters and things, but you're putting that dissonant energy out there, and it's just throwing things out of whack. So I do feel like the Hermit, though, too, you know, just with things that we're kind of, with all this change that's coming through there, it's just like kind of taking a moment and just reflecting on either the information that we're getting and the things that we're learning, and kind of like cross-checking stuff. Because when I'm learning like astrology and tarot and doing stuff like doing my studying on the side, I'm looking at numerous sources. There are some that I really do like, but then we're cross-checking it with some other things, and it's just like, how can those two merge together? And then, like, you know, taking some stuff out there, adding some stuff in, you know, that's really this kind of energy that's kind of coming through here, Gemini. Ooh, I feel like I'm talking a million miles a minute. All right, Gemini. Let's see. Let's get these cards in order here. Let's put you over here, Queen. And then let's get some tea and let's talk about Pisces. Because you got Saturn's about to go direct here, a little under a month now. And then you have Neptune that's still retrograde. And now Saturn's going to be going direct on the 4th of November. And he's going to be chilling in Pisces for a few years. So we're just kind of settling in there. But with Saturn going direct in Pisces, there's going to be a focus on deepening like spiritual understanding and like seeking a higher purpose. And considering with all this change that is going on here, Gemini, I do feel that this is going to be a really wonderful energy for you. Now, it may be a little challenging, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, but also, and this I feel like is going to be really kind of important here with defense, because you may also notice too that you have trouble setting emotional boundaries, just because Pisces, they're ruled by Jupiter but also by Neptune, the hanged man, and Neptune has no boundaries. She's has this love for all, and so we just want to be mindful of that as well. Seven of Wands, Four of Cups there. And you may also notice too, Gemini, you may feel a sense of duty towards like family, friends, community, and things like that, just because Pisces is very much about they have this universal love, and this just like this endless compassion for others, and wanting to help heal and help others grow. So you may feel a call towards that as well. Saturn kind of being this energy of authority and kind of discipline and focus and drive, and you may notice like just like kind of feeling like maybe wanting to step up and get into like this need, maybe wanting to even bring about some change here, Gemini, and become that teacher, spreading that information. And then you have Neptune that's going to be retrograde until the 6th of December. And this, again, retrogrades are about reflection. And I feel like probably of the signs, you and Virgo, being Mercury ruled, are probably the biggest experts when it comes to reflection, considering that Mercury goes retrograde so often. And I feel that with this energy, with Neptune being at home in Pisces, she's been at home for a while. She still has a couple more years. She's probably been there for like the last, probably like 12 years or so. She spends, I want to say, about 14 years in the sign. I have to double check on that. But Neptune being retrograde there brings a very powerful energy for spiritual awakening and again, an introspection. And I feel like that combination of Scorpio and Neptune energy that's going down there can really bring about some just incredible metamorphosis. Considering especially what you're going through there, you can really tap into that elixir of life. Really dip into that universal ocean and learn so much, because you and Pisces are the signs of duality. I read something where they kind of had put Sagittarius in that block, and I kind of see that, like, sort of, kind of. But then that could even you can throw Capricorn in the mix, and that I think is doing a lot. But I feel like you and Pisces more distinctly are signs of duality. And I feel like it's that link between, it's not just that split in personality. I feel like it's that divine self versus this earthly self, and bringing those two on the same page. And when the fish are swimming in harmony, or when the twins are communicating in a great place, abundance happens. Empress level stuff goes down. So, and then one thing with this energy though, depending on where your placements are at, with Neptune is a little, she's further along in Pisces. So you're going to need to know your time of birth when it comes to getting that exact degree. But Saturn's pretty much about at the beginning of Pisces. And depending on where your placements are, this is going to be forming a square with your sign. And squares are similar to oppositions in a sense that they bring about challenge, and they bring about that dissonant energy. It's one of those things where it feels like that this energy is kind of out of our hand. I almost feel like that squares are almost like the universe kind of putting us in like a tower moment in a sense, but not to just, it's to show us how resilient we can be, so that we can get into, instead of like situations happening to us, it's just like when energies happen, then we're the ones initiating the change. So that's something to just to consider there. But it's not that you're not going to, you may notice delays and things like that, but it's the energies will get moving in a sense. So let's get your oracle card. look at that. I'm with that. All right. So you have the financial security here, Gemini. And I like that. And I do feel that because we were talking about that earlier, things changing. Maybe we are starting to think about finances and things along those lines. But this is giving me sort of just like ten of Pentacles as well. I feel like it's not just because you did get the Four of Pentacles here, and we were talking about savings and things, but I feel like there's not just like a great opportunity for you. That's something that you're thinking about getting into this financial security, this abundance that is coming in. I feel like that it is a little bit bigger than that, that you can get this sort of on top of your finances. You can get security in all, or really start focusing on, kind of all aspects of that as well. And it's interesting that it would pop up in such a spiritual energy. I feel that it's because maybe for some we've been just really kind of heavily focused on the financial aspect. And again, I totally get that. We got bills that we got to pay. That's, you got to do what you got to do. But also we need to find this sense of balance and making sure that your universal account and spiritual account is is holding up as well. Again, just like that duality. It's, let me get a little bit more on this financial security here, Gemini. But this could be something too. Maybe some of us are thinking about maybe starting up your own type of business, or maybe just investing in like a little side hustle. Oh, and there's 10 of Pentacles. I love when Spirit does that, Mark. And that's where I feel like you're kind of getting at, Gemini. And it's getting to this place where it's like you're thinking about things, you're getting stuff in action, and then it just manifests. Like we were talking about 10 of Pentacles, and then 10 of Pentacles pops up there. And then I like that. So you have the, obviously, 10 of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and then you got the Fool here. And I even feel like that maybe for some, it's just like we're even maybe even thinking a little bigger than just like our own financial security. Maybe you're even trying to create even like this sort of like generational wealth in a sense. Maybe even like me really kind of thinking about this legacy, thinking about how things are changing and how we can grow. But I'm even sort of, and that's interesting. I feel like even for some, it's just like we're with this security. It's like we're even paying off this financial debt, not financial debt, this karmic debt, even in a sense. It's very interesting what's going with that. But clearly, I do feel like that this is something where if we have noticed that, we've been, any areas that we've been kind of lacking, this is a great energy for taking action. And I do say, though, I feel with the Fool, I feel like it's being open to new things because this is Uranus energy. That's cool that we got Uranus and Taurus out here. But I do feel like that is, with this, just considering too that defense that's going down, because sometimes I feel like there may be some people that kind of use this change and all this stuff that's happening as like almost like a scare tactic. And I feel like, again, just kind of doing your research before you just kind of hop into any old thing. But I do feel like there is this openness that is overall needing to happen. Kind of try about going things a little bit differently. Maybe it's just like we can't do because I was actually just talking with someone about this not too long ago, with where like how the cost of living is, and with like this, it's just so disproportional. And it's just like, how do we get that? How do we balance out these energies some? Maybe we're thinking about kind of joining finances, or sort of like a pooling assets maybe, or Three of Pentacles, collaborative energy, however this may be looking. But even just thinking with the Uranus, the Fool, it's like there's this sort of like needing to get a little innovative with like this, whatever this financial security or otherwise, just getting more, you're just more innovative with how we're doing things, because there is abundance around. But it's just like with where things are at right now, it's just we have to get a little more creative with how we're accumulating that. But I love this, that you got this financial security coming up here, considering too that you got your 10 of cups and 10 of pentacles, your happy home, everything is locked down, just everything is feeling imbalanced. So we're really kind of, and that's appropriate for both those energies. We're thinking about long games. So whew, I like that, Gemini. That's sick. Now let's get to this last energy here, which is Pluto in it's in Aquarius. I'm getting excited for that. But Pluto in Capricorn. I could have brought a little more energy for that. It's fine. It's just Cap. Don't tell them that. But with Pluto being Capricorn, Pluto's going to be in Capricorn until Aquarius season, the 20th of January, 2024. And with this energy, Gemini, it's already happening. This can lead to power dynamics. Because when the outer planets move, yes, this affects us on an individual level, but this also affects us on a grander, on a global type of level. And there are going to be a breakdown of outdated systems. There's going to be tower moments that are going to be happening. And it's not something to be afraid of. It's something to embrace the change. Get ready to, tarot's like meant to kind of get you kind of equipped. We see the energies that are shifting, and how do we respond in kind, and how do we navigate all of this change and stay in that sense of security, and I feel there is, also with this energy, you may notice, just kind of similar with how Saturn's was going direct. There's a heightened sense of responsibility towards like societal and global issues. So it's kind of like reclaiming your power back, because I really do feel that when Pluto starts, really kind of gets settled into Aquarius, things are going to change. That we're going from this like corporate type of energy with that Capricorn brings to a more about the people, because Aquarius is about freedom and about the future and about innovation. And I feel like that we really are going to be in a very, very transformative energy over the next couple of years, but especially over the next 20 years, which is like but I feel like it's going to be in a way that we not even, it's going to really kind of blow your mind there, Gemini. And I know this is like a little ahead of the game here, Gemini, but I feel like when Uranus makes a move in 2025 and moves from Taurus into Gemini, I feel like that's going to be a very interesting placement, or a very interesting place for Uranus to be over the next 7 years, and how that shapes. Just be ready to tap into that genius energy that you do have there, Gemini, because it's going to be really dope. I'm getting chills even just thinking about it. But let's get your last oracle card here. Oh, and what a strong thing to end on there, Gemini. Because you got the Blessed Day card here. And I do feel like there are a lot of blessings coming, because this is a very abundant reading. Empress, 10 of Cups and Pentacles here. I mean, all we're missing really is Wheel of Fortune, maybe King, Queen of Pentacles. Then otherwise we'd be squared away. But then now you're hogging all the abundance there, Gemini. No, I'm kidding. But with this Blessed Day, I do feel like as you're going through these changes, as you're going through this growth, it is appreciating the changes that do come. And like really making it a point, like how I was talking about how we're going to sleep, even like getting up and starting the day off just by thanking the universe for all the abundance that's come your way, and that's going to continue coming your way, and that is going to be Empress Day every day, indefinitely. And just like really get in this strong energy of gratitude, and not that you aren't grateful for what you have, but really just making it a point, even just in the smallest things, from the clothes you're wearing to the drinks that you're drinking, to however this may look, Gemini. But I do feel that there are going to be a lot of blessings that are coming your way in numerous kind of aspects here. And this is like this elixir life is kind of giving like this Ace of Cups is like the universe Oof, that was beautiful. So it's like the thing that popped in my head was like the universe is just like baptizing you with just a that was sick. But I do feel that it's helping you get to that state. You know, it's not that it's just like that fortune is just going to fall into your lap. You know, it is going to be something where it's just it's one thing to have all this abundance around you, but we have to do something with it. You know, it's like having $1 million lottery ticket but not cashing it in there, Gemini. But let's get your last tarot cards here. All right, last little bit here. Ooh, last little bit here, Gemini. Oh, and there's Aquarius. I dig it. And Pisces. So you have the Six of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, the Moon card, and then the Star card here. And let's switch back over here, Gemini. Because, I mean, Three Cups here, this is a cause for celebration. You know, I do feel like that, you know, because it's a celebrating, because it's another blessed day, Gemini. It's that even just raised my vibration some there, Gemini. And I feel like really getting in that habit of, you know how I was talking with the Empress, the more that you give, the more that you kind of get, you know, and it's just like keeping that abundance just flowing. And even with the Star card here, I feel that there is this energy of, it's just like, it's, you know, it's like making a wish and communicating with the divine, and then watch how you manifest and how things just kind of come to fruition. You ask for it, and then it's just the waters start pouring out. Your pond is filling. You're feeling financially stable. You're navigating this journey with ease. And the Moon card, it's giving me this idea of just like embracing the unknown, you know, and the changes that, because there's like we're not sure how these changes may come, but they are going to be coming. And I feel like it's embracing that with an open heart, you know. And King of Cups, embracing that with that open heart and allowing that, because I even was getting like this sort of like moon magic that was even coming through there. And it's just like allowing you know how when it's dark, and you know it's like things are just kind of lit up by the moon at night, like how stuff, depending on what phase she's at, it's like how our imaginations can run wild, and we can see all this scary stuff that's happening. But all it is, you know, most of the time it's just like the trees making different shapes. But it's just like, if we were to change that mindset and allow your imagination to manifest, you know, like use it utilize it in a different vibration. It's like you can, because after you got the Star, the Moon, and then the next card is the Sun there, Gemini. And you know, since I've even started this channel, I feel like and I know that it's Leo's ruler, but for me, you started that energy of just like a little pocket of sunshine, you know, finding little pockets of sunshine all over the place. And I feel that there is a lot of sunlight that blessed day. You just I feel like that's the mantra, Gemini. Just wake up, man. It's gonna be a blessed day. I think I'm gonna leave that there, Gemini. That's dope. I enjoy that. Thank you for that energy there. But I do hope this resonates with you, Gemini. But I'm never forcing on you. But if you like that, Gemini, anything resonates with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this, Gemini, because I feel like let's spread the abundance around. You know, really get all Geminis getting your thoughts to manifest, and getting the twins to come at this place, because they both want the same thing. They want your abundance. They want your high. They want 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles all day, every day. And I do feel like, and I didn't really touch, I just realized I didn't really touch on the Queen of Wands too much. That there is this almost like getting people just like this revitalized kind of passion and lust for life in a sense. But, and then if you haven't already, Empress, subscribe, hit that bell button, get notified on all these videos each week. And then last little bit there, Gemini, if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, come on over to the Sheridan, friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. absolutely discuss lunar shenanigans, and it's a good old time. I actually had a thought. We'll see how that goes. But all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, Gemini, so I can get you out of here. I could almost weep. Yes, here he is, King of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. I mean, he's the epitome of abundance. You know, maybe the only one that got him beat maybe is the Empress, but the King of Pentacles, he manifests his security. You know, you got a lot of stability. I feel it can come from this Gemini, and again, it's not something I feel like it's going to happen overnight. But it's more so when we get in that, like, kind of start manifesting and moving and operating with intention, that the universe really starts picking up that frequency, and its things start adjusting in that way that you really need it to, and because that's sick. Because surprise, surprise, told you it was gonna be a blessed day. Love that. Now let's get your oracle card here so I can get you out of here. Manifesting abundance there, King of Pentacles. I'm with it. I don't even know what to call this. So it's like first you start off changing, and then then we were abundant. Starting up just a whole new. Oh, I was about to. I almost forgot what I was talking. You about to start a new life there, Gemini. Things are changing, you know, and I feel like I feel like again, this change is only gonna happen if you want it. You know, like, because I could be all excited for this abundance and things, but if we're not doing anything towards this new life, then it's just going to be. It's not like the abundance will go anywhere, but it will make it harder to appreciate the stuff that's already around you. And then it's just like as you start going through this, it's like you are going to just kind of like hatch. Because you see this girl's coming out, this fairy's coming out this egg here. And I do feel like that this could lead to a whole brand new life. It's like a whole new you is kind of awakening to seeing all of the beauty in things that are around you. And to take a moment and just as often as you can and just kind of take in your surroundings there, Gemini, and really kind of appreciate where things are at in life. So I like that. And I like that too, because last little thing, you reduce 39 in numerology, that comes to 12, and that's Hanged Man energy. And, you know, it's new perspective. You know, seeing, you know, maybe we've been seeing stuff at one vibration, and now it's like you flip things on your head, you know, maybe go upside down, then it's just like, oh, I am blessed. I embrace growth, I embrace change, and I appreciate the lessons that have made you the King of Pentacles, Empress that you are. So I'm with it. You stay safe out there, Gemini, with all these changes and coming into this new you. I'm with it. You raise that vibration to the roof. Raise your vibration, you know, because this frequency is one that I feel like is going to again provide you with this level of security and abundance, and really kind of tapping into that elixir of life there. And I will catch you there on the next one. Later.